Hey, how's it going? My name is Roberto. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time checking me out. Um, Please feel free to check out my channel, browse through so you can see what I'm about. A little backstory with me is that this channel first started over a year ago, and it just started, with me just sharing my story as I'm a former ex-Jehovah Witness. And now I've grown through my channel. I've grown as a person. My content has evolved and grown. And now, voila, you have um, Unlearned Religion, Godspeed. And I welcome all to my platform. Please feel free to share your expressions, share your experiences in the comments. I do read them. Um, Today, what we're going to be talking about is spiritual freedom. Now, the reason why I specifically chose to speak about spiritual freedom is because, to be quite honest, I don't think that spiritual freedom is something that's really touched on a lot. I haven't stumbled across, a lot of information, like, in, for example, in social media, or the YouTube community or Facebook or anything like that. I haven't seen nothing that is specifically targeting um, this specifically, spiritual freedom. And so I just thought it would be a good thing to try to tackle, and from my perspective, and maybe start a discussion and see, maybe, what you may consider spiritual freedom to be on your end. Before I go any further, please feel free to hit that like button. Once again, share your expression or your comment, and by way of support, please subscribe to the channel if you support me and my information and my content and what I'm about. All right, with that done and said, let's get into this. Spiritual freedom. Well, what is spiritual freedom? I think for me, spiritual freedom is basically, um, it's, in my interpretation, it's a special gift, okay, that God provides for every person living, okay? He provides this special, beautiful gift to us, okay, by by way of free will that we have as individuals, right? So it's something that spiritual freedom is something that's granted to all people, okay? And it's up to the person on how we use that spiritual gift, that privilege, that honor from our loving Heavenly Father, right? Um, it's not something that we must, of course, use and or take, so to speak. It's not something forced upon us. Like I said, it's something by a person's choice to want to take this gift that's given to us, that's before us in our lives, and to take it further and to see what comes more of this gift that's given, right? I think that to kind of understand more or less on really using this spiritual gift that's given to us, which is, in a nutshell, we're exploring our freedom, okay, as far as spiritually. I think when you think of spirituality, your connection with spirituality, your spiritual freedom, you're exploring, you're discovering, you're seeking, you're connecting spiritually with you know, anything that has to do with in regards to spirituality, anything of course that has to do with God. Um, but more so I must add that your spiritual the spiritual gift that we're exploring our spiritual freedom that God gives us, it's something that myself, you, and others may may or may not, of course, may know a lot of, because we are all have that commonality where we're on a spiritual journey, right? So that makes sense, you know. Spiritual freedom is something that, you know, people are exploring on their spiritual journey, right? And so on the spiritual journey is really where we really uh, learn about how to use this freedom that's given. You see, and I don't think that people probably put it in that sense, and I just thought it'd be good to go at things this at this angle, you know. Like I said a few minutes ago, like spiritual freedom, I don't think is something that, at least to me, is not really touched on a lot, and I think that we should take advantage of our spiritual freedom. Everyone has that, and you know, so you're exploring your spiritual freedom on your spiritual journey, you know, and you know you're on your path, you're on your spiritual path, you know, you're on your spirit, you're on your spiritual path to spirituality. That's really what that's about. You know, all of it is related, all of it is connected. Okay, and you may ask yourself, well, exploring what? If this is something that's all new to you, um, watching this here, well, basically put, you're exploring understandings and different understandings of God and different understandings of faiths, different religious backgrounds, different religions, different interpretations of God's. It could be, you know, different understandings of spiritualities, as we all know and come to know or understand, at least majority, that of people that, you know, spirituality is something that's very big. It's very broad, you know. You got religions is something also that's big and broad, and interpretation of God is broad. You know, different religions know Him to be something different. You know, so but this is where one can do the exploring and take advantage of their spiritual freedom. You know, on your spiritual journey on this path, and it's a beautiful thing, because at the end of the day, you're utilizing your freedom, your gift of free will to really explore and get knowledge of what other people believe in and why they believe in certain things and certain practices and stuff of that nature. And you know, I really recommend that a lot of people try to have an open mind to spiritual freedom, because at the end of the day, it can open up something that can be beautiful for you. It can be enlightening. Um, you know, it can be something that's rewarding. You know, um, and at the end of the day, I think that the biggest message that I will leave you on in regards to your spiritual freedom is that what I would suggest for you strongly is that, you know, for you to be on your strongest focus, okay, in your exploring would be ultimately to get to that point where you have learned, or you at least learning or seeking or trying to discover where you're connected. What is the connection, your personal connection with spirituality? how does spirituality plays in your life? Does it play in your life? Have it already been playing in your life? Is there angels around? Do you have guides around you? Are you unconsciously, are you an empath? Are you a light worker? What are these? Are you indigo? What are these certain terms that I'm using? Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of what are these. You can surf around, you can YouTube any of the things that I'm mentioning. But there's a lot of beautiful, special people out here with these certain gifts that are given. And they have, because of their spiritual, they've taken advantage of their spiritual freedom to explore and gather research and data and knowledge and all this. They've come to their spiritual identification. They're able to identify with other spiritual beings. And see, for me personally, I believe that we are all not just human beings, but we're human spiritual beings. And we are all connected spiritually through God's loving spirit. And it's a beautiful thing. And because of that, that spiritual connection that we all have, okay, the greatest connectivity through God's loving spirit is just that. When you're able to overlook the next human person, their situations, and understand that they're not only human, but this is my spiritual brother in connection with God's loving spirit. And so therefore, as us being children of this holy loving spirit of God, then we need to work with each other in that loving manner. See, love always trumps everything. Love will always conquer everything. Now, will we face challenges? Yeah, no question. But we need to always try to come back to how we could connect into that loving space. So, it's a beautiful thing now when you can have certain understanding. But, all of us have different levels of spiritual consciousness. Spiritual awakenings is not something that everyone can completely understand unless you have been spiritually awoken. So it may sound off to a person who may say, So, but these are some of the things that should pique someone's interest, because it can't hurt. Knowledge can never hurt no one. But before I conclude with this video, I just want to say that continue to seek out what this beautiful spiritual gift that God has given you. Take advantage of your spiritual freedom. See, try to think, really think, just, should you be on a spiritual journey? What has kept you from going on seeking out a spiritual journey? What is a spiritual journey to you? Because we are all on a life journey. Granted, all of us is on our own specific paths. But is spirituality an area in that life journey that we need to have and need to embrace? Should it be part of our a life journey? Is it something that will bring us more peace? And so I believe to keep tranquility and righteousness and peace amongst on this earth, and to spread it and advocate it to others, that's a good avenue or good tree to bark up. It's good, something to peek into, Anyway, before I leave, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. Please feel free to drop a comment, share your thoughts on how you feel, where how this ties into your thoughts and your feelings on the subjects and the things that I spoke of. Um, Subscribe to the channel, and to my next video, continue to take care of yourself. Continue to take care of your loved ones. Continue to love yourself. Continue to understand that, there's a spiritual side of you, and protect your spiritual health as well. Take care. Peace.